Paul David Cotton and Georgia Cotton had divorced over 25 years ago after 5 years of marriage on very bad terms, and the only thing between them was their daughter, Lily Cotton, whereby as her parents, they would be forced to attend her very important events like her graduation. Lily and her best friend, Wren Butler, were used to the fact that it would be an argument battleground whenever David and Georgia met, and they had nothing to do. After graduating, his lawyer, Lily Ann Wren, decided to take a vacation on some beautiful island where they happened to meet a young, handsome guy called G after he saved their lives on the sea when the boat they were on left them behind after they were under the water for too long. Just when Lily set her eyes on G, she instantly fell in love with him, and after 37 days, her parents were surprised to get emails from her that she was getting. Surprisingly, they boarded the same plane and were given seats next to each other. David met Georgia's much younger boyfriend than him and her called Paul, who was also the pilot of the plane, and it made him jealous on the boat to the island where Lily was. Despite their differences, David and Georgia made a deal to sabotage their daughter's wedding simply because they didn't want her to end up making the same mistake as they did, especially since Lily had just seen the guy for 37 days, and yet marriage is a huge commitment. They were scared that she was going to throw away her career and dreams for someone she had just seen because Lily knew her parents. The first thing she asked them was if they were there to sabotage her wedding, and they lied that they were there to support her. She then introduced the guy to them and later his whole family, which was very huge by the way. On David's first talk with Jed, as his father-in-law, he got in his head, assuring him that his marriage with Lily will be temporary because nothing lasts forever. And given the fact that she was an ambitious woman with dreams and goals, psychologically, this gave Jed an impression that Lily's parents don't like him at all. And it started tormenting him, but he didn't want to tell Lily about it. When David and Georgia went to book rooms at a hotel, even though they didn't want to be anywhere near each other, they were still given rooms next to each other. Their next move was to steal the rings so as to interfere with GED's cultural customs, because if there were no rings, there was no marriage. So since it was Jed's young cousin with the rings, Georgia used a banana trick on her and stole the rings. When the park shows the rings to the rest reached according to Get's culture, the young girl didn't have the rings on her, and right away he knew that it was something to do with Lily's. Waited for another chance with Lily's dad alone. And this happened when they went to the market. He asked him politely to give back the rings because they still had the option to buy new ones, but they instead ran into a small argument, and Jed told him that the only reason he could not tell Lily about it was because of the pain it would cause her. David spent a whole night doing research on the island and found out that if a couple going to get married went to a temple called Tana Lot, it would be cursed because Lily was getting married to a seaweed farmer. She took her parents to show them how it is done, but because everything between them was a competition, they started fighting for the harvested weeds, which looked weird. From there, they went out together as a family at night, and this was the only moment David and Georgia put their differences to have fun being themselves. When they woke up together the next day in the same room with a big hangover, they were all shocked at how it even happened. And just when they picked up with their arguments, Paul knocked on Georgia's door and they immediately switched rooms to make it seem as if they had exchanged. David then persuaded them to go to the Tana Lot temple as part of his plan to stop the wedding, and then Get explained to Lily about it. They didn't go there, but the rest did. Paul proposed to Georgia and then she said no. And just after he was bitten by a snake and rushed to the hospital. To cut a long story short, when Lily found out that it was her parents who stole the first rings, she was disappointed, and given that even her boyfriend knew about it but didn't tell her, they tried giving her their reasons why. But it was all in vain apart for the boyfriend, who she told that no matter what, she was ready to live and die for him. Georgia got worried thinking they had lost her, and she also opened up to David that he was not the mistake of her life, but rather the mistake was her leaving him just because she was scared of the future. Eventually, they solved their long-term differences and decided to support their daughter. On this one, Paul tried proposing to Georgia again, but still, it was a no. The wedding went on their last step to finalize theirs. Get asked for their support or else they were not to marry, and good enough, they had already decided to show them support and put everything aside. In the end, their daughter's wedding gave them a second chance together, and this was how the story ended. Thanks for watching and giving this video a like.